Welcome, everyone, to the 33rd episode of the Mochi podcast.
Is it 33 already?
It is a 33rd episode. This week, your host, Tim, our small host, Lake,
small host,
and our beautiful host, Hayden.
I'm the beautiful one?
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
do that face to the camera you did last night with when you put your hat back.
No.
Please do.
I'd have to take off my headphones. Wait.
Enhance. Okay, anyway, for the people, he just looks like an idiot. Do one of those jokes.
What did I say?
The bubonic one is what you had.
I told one to Morgan. What did I say? I said the bubonic one. I said what did I say to Morgan? God dang it. Oh, yeah. Dude. The Titanic low-key fell off.
It's a bunch of things where you just say the most ridiculous.
Makes no sense.
Yeah, like you say fell off as like it's no longer
like relevant.
Today he said the bubonic plague low-key fell off.
Which like
duh.
Yeah.
I don't get that trend, but
no, it's just as like shit posting. It's not really like a trend.
Okay.
It's just me being silly.
God.
So yeah.
But yeah. Well, welcome everyone. I forgot to say the Coolest Cat has a new podcast, whatever.
The Coolest Cat just got a podcast with your host. You already said the names, but Zach is not here.
Good.
So we get to eat snacks on the podcast. Too bad we don't have any. So
I hope he does it where we're in the video format. He secretly records himself with his really nice camera.
Oh.
And then he's just sitting there just like, I hate this job.
F these guys.
Please, Zach, just do a voiceover of me saying that, but you saying it.
I hate this.
I hate doing extra work.
I hate this job. No, where is Zach right now? He said he was out of town.
Out of town. That means he's in his van.
He was in his van doing some work. What he was doing is putting up the back wall for his like shower.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he told me he's doing that. Where is he putting his shower at?
It's in the very back of his van. Yeah, the very back where like the cooker was, like the cook stove top, whatever was.
He
took it out, and now there's a big like
it looks
stand-in
like
shower.
Like, it looks so good.
Yeah.
It looks like that was his original plan. Like he never cut into it.
I can't wait till we do that Mochi Monday where we actually go out and we show and like really display Zach's van. Because I'm excited to do.
I want to do a mini episode in the van.
We are. I think for Zach's last episode, we definitely are going to do the episode in the van.
Yeah,
whenever that happens.
That was supposed to be like so many episodes back. Maybe like episode 10 or something. Yeah. I don't know.
Well, Zach is the one that was supposed to leave he was supposed to leave in like January.
Take his big like super big
before
trip.
And now it's almost May.
It's halfway through April.
And he's just now doing the shower.
Yeah. But he like the thing is that it's a constant work in progress, and he's always talking to me whenever we hang out. He's like, I keep seeing stuff I want to or thinking about new stuff I want to do, and I always feel like it's never fully done.
Which that's the same with like a house. I mean, that's the same with like
you're
always gonna find something.
I mean, how many times have you changed your room, Hayden? Exactly. Like how
a few times.
I mean, it's one of those things where like especially when that's where he's gonna be all his time. He's gonna drive in it. He's gonna live in it. He's gonna shower in it. He's gonna I don't know. Can he shit in it yet?
No, you cannot.
Okay.
You can theoretically.
In the sink. But anyway, like I think he has a septic in it. But anyway, like that's a big thing. He's gonna live in this van. I like how we talk more about Zach when he's not here than we do when he is here.
It's like a
screw you, Zach. No,
we're just thinking about you.
We're just missing you, baby.
But anyway, I just want to do a quick shout out so we can stop talking about Zach. I want to do a quick shout out to all our listeners that keep coming back every single week to listen to us talk about dumb stuff and anime.
I don't know like why, but shout out to y'all. Y'all deal with us being idiots every single week, but like, hey, we're like the most lovable idiots. That could be what our new podcast is going to be called, the most lovable idiots.
Well, there's the brilliant idiots, which is Charlemagne the God.
Oh,
and we're the lovable idiots.
Yeah,
so him and Andrew Schwartz, I think their name is. I don't know. I listen to their podcast every once in a while, but yeah. But anyway, who wants to start off with their topic? Before the podcast, we each decided to get a topic from each of us to discuss on the podcast today. And who wants to go first? That's not me. I called I.
Well, I mean, we can kind of go in the way we like pitch the whole thing. I don't really want to do like the whole anime. I guess we could do. The thing is about bringing up anime on the podcast. Like we talk about it every single week, and I'm like, this is not an anime podcast.
If we're going to talk about anime, let's do it at the end of the podcast. Yeah. Because the real fans that actually like anime will listen to the whole podcast.
It's true.
Well, I do have an idea on that.
Oh god.
So. This is a podcast where we just talk as a general purpose. Like we just talk about anything. So let's just say it's not necessarily an anime podcast. It's just one of our hobbies that we talk about.
It's true, but in the sense of what you're wanting to talk about this week,
that falls on like it falls on like too much of a premise where we talk about it so much that it might become like that topic all the time.
I feel you. Okay.
But I mean, we can say that to the end. There's like a number of things we can discuss with that, but I know like plenty of people who listen to us are interested in that, and
I'm excited for your topic because I've been talking to Zach for a while. I'm not sure if I talked to you about it, but I've been talking to Zach a lot about like us actually having like a real deal episode where we talk about like really personal stuff. Mm-hmm. Like for example, your topic is on.
It was about like just general like things that like improve your mood or change your mood when you're like kind of feeling down or kind of feeling low.
Something that everyone experienced. Yeah, exactly. And I was telling even Zach before, like if we even could do stuff with like mental health, yada yada, just like that whole subcategory, like and how like you kind of like see it, view it, how stuff happens. And it was even awesome when I was in class today before the podcast. We have this thing where we have to pick. I have an assignment due tomorrow, which is like half my grade, and exactly. So I'm doing that after the podcast. But you had to pick 3 goals that you see yourself doing in the future, mm-hmm. and then I mean, obviously, one of my goals is going to be like developing relationships. Mm-hmm. With people and being better at that and like talking and being yada yada, which is even good for Best Buy. I mean, the better you are at talking and understanding and listening, the better salesman you can be. So that's some good advice for you. Like if you want to like enhance your job, improving on those 3 things, which is I would say this is just personal for me and you because I know you and I know where you work and stuff. Through your last jobs, that is not something that you had to be at.
Yeah, nah. Like, listen to somebody and their personal problems to figure out what I could do for them. And then, like, yeah, what kind of pizza you want, bro?
Yeah, that's literally, yeah.
And usually by the time they go in there, they already know what they want. And then they have, like, the routine of getting their pizza. And that's it. It's food industry. Yeah. It's just how it goes.
Yeah. Where Best Buy, completely different. It flips you. It makes you, it kind of tests you a little bit because... Like, for example, I have a story about Best Buy that happened this week where the guy was yelling at me. Yeah. But, like, I said it, like, that is stuff that you can't prepare for. You don't know what to do sometimes when that situation other than just put a smile on or laugh internally.
It's hard, yeah.
So, but yeah, that's like that would be, we can make it this kind of episode because I think that's like that would be a good topic because people are going to like, wow, I feel the same way.
Oh, yeah, I guess we could.
I got a quick question for you two, though.
Yeah.
So in the times where you're feeling, like, really down or just not there, like, what are some things that you two do to kind of get yourself back on the normal scale of mental health? That's really
what I was about to, like, go in with my,
your mood?
My topic was, because normally, whenever I do, like, I mean, everybody has days where they just don't feel, like, 100%. They kind of like feel like you kind of have a bigger outlook on life, and you're kind of thinking like, "What am I really gonna do? What am I doing here?" Type of deal. Kind of looking at yourself in the bigger picture of things. And sometimes you feel like a little. It's easy to feel small, easy to feel low.
Well, yeah.
But like usually, whenever I think of things that kind of improve my mood, if I had like a shitty day, if I was like pissed off at somebody, or if I was just like it's just like one of those days where you're just depressed the whole time, you just think like everything's bad. One thing I think that it's, especially I think for me and Tim, things that improve my mood, specifically like music, of course, is a huge thing.
That was going to be like my main thing.
Yeah, and when it comes to like specific like genres of music that I like listen to, it's usually stuff I can listen to in the morning time because that usually like my meditation time where I kind of like clear my head, prepare myself for the day. and specifically like bands I think that like really put me in a better mood is more like I don't know, like the genre is bands like Chon or Elephant Gym or
math rock,
really, whatever, because it just feels like to me that there's, in a sense, there's a lot going on, but it's also painting like a big picture, and that helps me to be like more contemplative with it.
Yeah.
Bands also like
I like Cloud Kicker. That's one band that I really like. That because he tells there's no lyrics, and he just tells kind of like stories, and
right, and
progresses.
Like bands like Scale the Summit too, and bands like what was that other band? This Town Needs Guns. They have lyrics, but they also like pretty techie in their music. Just bands like that I'll listen to, and that really puts me in like a more contemplative, more calm mood. I like to think about things, but when it comes to like, and it's gonna be kind of funny when I bring this up, to actually put me in like a better mood. Like 100% what puts me in like a better mood to feel like actually like look on the bright side of things. I'm being 100% serious when I say it's K-pop. 100% serious. Oh my God. Like it's all about, because when you listen to it, depending on the band, some of it's like just straight up like really hype.
Yeah.
But some of the stuff is also like just super melodic and super like really just it gives off positive vibes, like unreal positive vibes, and I like that a lot from a lot of the different K-pop bands that I listen to. So that's like the big thing that I feel like whenever that's like the biggest mood changer for me, that I feel like I'm almost relieved, or I kind of feel like a 180 where I feel like I'm just like something is really like pulled off my shoulders. I just feel 100% better. Like I just don't feel as crappy, because that like kind of really set in the mood for me of being more positive. So like definitely like those kinds of music that's the two genres I really think of when I need like a mood changer. And most recently, like I listen to those like all the time.
Yeah.
So
what about you, like?
The opening to Laid Back Camp is like one of those really good openings.
Yeah.
If you're talking about like anime type or K-pop, that Japanese music. Yeah. Mine is more. It's funny because mine is completely different. I listen to classical music.
I wish you listened to some of our music, like, to be honest.
I don't doubt it, because like we're so different in our music selection. So
please
when
don't
you guys
say
like
Marshall
start
Mathers.
talking about like rap and all these other artists and stuff, I have no idea who they are. But if you start talking about like Beethoven, Bach, and
that's not
Chopin, all that stuff, I'm in that. Like that's my type of music: piano, violin, orchestra.
So super like classical, like grand music.
Yeah.
So that'll calm you down.
Oh yeah, and like the reason for that too is like when I was before I was born, my mother would put like headphones on her belly while I was in there, and it was mostly like classical music. So I was listening to that like before I even came out the womb, son. So that's.
Did you come out with a powder wig?
Dude, I should have.
I mean, that's why he wears pilgrim shoes.
God, you cracking on my shoes all week.
Hey,
it was an experience.
Wait, how old are you?
23.
Oh, so you're supposed to die soon then, because there's all those musicians, except for
they die really young.
Yeah, except for one of them. I think the guy who went blind or something. No, deaf.
Oh my God.
Can't remember. Which is crazy to think they went deaf because they were playing pianos, but like there's no amplifiers yet. There wasn't anything like that.
There was vibrations they could feel, yeah.
But yeah. So like for example, like with the Beatles, you know why the Beatles stopped touring? It's because their instruments and the time era they played in, they couldn't amplify their music loud enough to go over people screaming.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Isn't that crazy that literally the biggest band in the world ever can't play live? Well, they can play live now if half of them are alive, but like they can't play live because their fans are too crazy.
Yeah, and if you go back and look at old recordings, even of like I can't remember what TV show, like even just like old live recordings of the Beatles playing in front of people, it's clear that people were screaming a lot louder than them. And then when you after so many times you see other live recordings of them, it's not in front of an audience. It's just them playing like in front of like because there's like them playing in a studio, and then there's that famous clip of them playing on top of the roof.
That's their last performance ever, by the way. So like, do you like the Beatles?
Yeah.
Do you like the Beatles?
Yes.
Okay. So, and I'm kind of here or there. Like, I think the Beatles are good in a couple. Like, I think they have their albums.
Yeah.
And their songs. And then there's when they start getting like really trippy. It's just like.
No, I actually like that more.
the thing I like about the Beatles is that they don't make the same album twice. Mm-hmm. They literally sound like a completely different band all the time.
Yeah.
And I watched that documentary on Hulu. Not sure if either of y'all have ever seen that documentary on Hulu. Nah. If you don't, you should watch it because it literally shows them starting in London, like performing, wearing suits all live, and then it goes to all the way to them filming them live on the rooftop.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, that's like...
My dad's a huge...
It's a ride.
Yeah, my dad's a huge Beatles fan, so I kind of like... My dad's a huge like classic rock, older rock music like that, fan of all those bands. And so I kind of grew up listening to Beatles a lot too. So like people rag on the Beatles, people rag on like the Rolling Stones and bands like that all the time, but it's just like those are like...
Yeah.
Like they made rock music what it is today. So, and I appreciate... I think, was it Yellow Submarine? Or it's either Yellow Submarine or it's... Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band.
That's my mom's favorite. That's Linda's favorite.
Yeah, I love that album
Our
too.
favorite album.
I love that album too. That's one of my dad's favorite albums. I actually had that CD in high school, but I really like when it comes to those bands. You can rag on them all you want, but they're like it's an awesome album.
Yeah, it's stuff that will never like stuff nowadays can still never match up to what like they pioneered.
Yeah,
for,
it's
like,
also
music.
really like you look at it, you think of it. It really is a product of its time. Where that album could only have come out at that time.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, also, even, like, their famous quote, like, we're bigger than Jesus, like...
Yeah, John Lennon.
Like...
Which people were crazy
They were crazy, but, like, in retrospect, if you think about that phrase, Beatles is so universal, worldwide.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, everybody knows the Beatles.
But the thing is, not everyone knows Christianity, so, I mean, technically...
That's a true statement.
It's a true statement in a way, like
it kind of depends on your like perspective when it comes to how you perceive what John Lennon said in that sentence. Like for him to say that, because music reaches people in a way that like religion can't obviously.
Yeah.
It's two different things in totally, but I understand what he means by that, and that's just like I remember. You can go back and like look at the statements of people when after he said that, and like people were like threatening his life and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which
I mean, they ultimately did.
Yeah. So
So
shout out Yoko Ono.
Yeah, not her music.
JK. I don't know a thing about Yoko Ono.
She's terrible. She performed like I watched her like 3 years ago perform at Coachella, or I think it was. Is that or Lollapalooza
or Bonnaroo's?
I don't know. Yeah, Bonnaroo, I think.
Bonnaroo's. I said Bonnaroo's. Bonnaroo, yeah.
But, man, that's bad. That's a way to kill a legacy, I guess. But, anyway, back to, like, mood music.
Yeah, like, stuff that, like, really changes, like I said, brings you in, like, a total of 180 to make you, like, how you feel. Like, to improves your mood, like, completely.
So, if, like, we walk into Lake's room and he's listening to, like, Eminem, stay out. But if we come in there and we hear... dun 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 dun, like, oh, he's calming down. We can go talk to him.
Yeah.
Like the best song in my opinion would be like Moonlight Sonata.
No, everyone listen up. Lake's top 5 classic songs.
I'm Slim Shady. Yes, I'm Slim Shady.
Okay, give us your top 5 classic songs from Bach.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Symphony 2, 4, 8, and 12. Real fans will know this one.
Dude, yeah. I wish... My God.
If up, or is that a legit symphony?
No, it was just... I was making a bit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, if classical, like, musicians were like, yo, they were their own hype men. They were like, yo, all the real fans from day one know this one.
I remember when he played this in his bedroom when he was 12.
He couldn't even hear it. No.
He has such a like awesome name though. Like most of those classical musicians had like really
Amadeus.
Yeah,
he was the one who was deaf.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But like, man, they had some like pretty like cool names. Rad. Like they had names that like will last forever.
Actual like for sure like, iconic names.
Like you only go by like the last name, and it's incredible.
What would be like? So going off music of like to like improve our mood, getting back to on that
sorry.
that train. No, that's fine. This is typical. What about you?
So for mood, I have for a couple things. So like if I'm I have a couple songs that I like. So like if I'm super sad when I was working at like Mama Goldberg's, which made me super sad, I
feel that. Your first job, man. You think about. I have nightmares about my first job.
Oh, I have nightmares. I loved my first job. I loved it. It was just stressful as hell. But like I would listen to Clarity by Mac Miller a lot. Which is like a very underrated song for him. A lot of people never even listened to Macadelic before, or even seen that video. But like Clarity by Mac Miller, so like really get me like back to reality kind of song. Then like working out, I like to play like Gideon's Cost album. Like it just really depends on what I'm kind of going for. Lately I've been listening to a lot of hip hop, but Skill Summit used to be the main one. Cloud Kicker. I'm trying to think of my mood, and but
that just puts you in like a much better mood, like totally 180.
Nowadays, I don't feel like I have that anymore. I don't feel like I ever have like moods to listen to stuff, except like I listen to more like new stuff. If I had a bad day at work, or I had a bad morning, or if I had a fight, or I had something like that, if I get in my car, I usually don't play music to go for that. I like to really be more current with stuff versus listen to old stuff. I had a friend named David, and he only still listens to Under Oath's first 2 albums, Chiodo's first like 2 albums, and stuff like that. He never grew out of that, and he never listened. He doesn't even know anything else except for that music, and which is the way opposite of me. Like anything, like
me too.
Like today, I listened to YNW Melly's new album, or last album before he got locked up. But just because I haven't heard it yet, you know, like before, like even Nipsey, like I never really listened to all of Victory Lap until his death. But like putting me more in, like, to make me feel better personally in a mood sense, I think eating is better than music to me. Like, I think eating makes me feel better. And then the other one that I'm not going to mention, but like those
ice cream.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
I love me some ice cream.
What's your favorite flavor?
Something with nuts in it. Anyway,
chocolate.
Anyway,
transition. But anyway,
I got like another one as well too. We'll actually get into this topic at the end of the podcast.
But go ahead. I'm gonna reset cameras.
I can keep talking.
Yeah, keep talking.
Okay. So like another thing that kind of like improves my mood, and that something that it's more of a kind of like escapism as opposed to like not opposed to, but like different, but also the same. Kind of really puts me in a better mood when I feel like I'm just kind of low. Is I'll read manga. Because I'm a real big nerd.
Lake.
I wish Zach was here to laugh at me.
Everybody attacks me because
we're gonna attack you on the podcast.
Go for it.
This Attack me. It's ridiculous.
But like I've been reading it all day, and it feels like because normally today would have been like a really crappy day for me at work because like we were short a lot of people. There was a good bit of work, and it was really hard. But in my breaks, I really just I've been reading Hunter x Hunter because that's like one of my favorite series, and like it's not that I read that much manga, it's just series that I'm like super passionate about, that I already like am kind of well established in liking, that I'll actually go back and read the manga itself, just to like kind of like further my interest in the series. But on every break, just about all day, whenever I wasn't like texting you guys on my breaks as well, I was reading Hunter x Hunter, and I was just like kind of in between the crappy parts of my day, kind of getting into that and like seeing the story progress, and that like that's more of like an escape from like the fact that my job is like kind of blah, it was boring, it was just like not a
it's what you do every single day, so it's like
it makes me feel like less like I also feel like reading in general too, because I remember before I got back into reading manga, I used to read like like on Reddit as well as like a few other places. I'd read paranormal like articles and like stories about that kind of stuff too, about like sightings of like aliens and stuff like that. I'd read and like ghosts and whatnot. I'd read stuff about that a lot, and I'd read like for like 2 or 3 hours sometimes into those. I used to do that a lot, and sometimes that'd be like a really big escape for me as well. I kind of miss doing that. I mean, I kind of get that out on last podcast on the left because they talk a lot about that. But you know, really just getting into that again, I'm really happy with like how it makes me feel now. So. It's we'll get back into that probably at the end of the podcast when we get into the anime portion, I guess.
Because we just want to rip on Lake, but he deserves it.
But it's just like getting like invested in a story, and also like kind of looking into like the art that goes into it, and kind of like I know more about what goes into the manga industry, and I'm more appreciative of it. So it kind of like I don't know. That's more of like something that really appeals to me, and that's more of a mood changer. I feel like it helps me with my like day to day for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think reading Logic's book, I bought Logic's. If you don't know who Logic, he's a rapper. But I bought his new book, Supermarket, and I've been reading it, and it's kind of interesting because never have any rappers make books that are not cooking books like Action Bronson or autobiographies or something.
Yeah, and that's what I wasn't. When you got his book, I didn't know that it was just like complete fiction. I thought it was like just something like his thoughts.
Too.
Say what?
Bestseller too.
Nice. Yeah, go figure. Shout out to Logic. But because I figure like when you think of like a rapper putting out a book, whatever, it's like it's gonna be either his thoughts about how he got to where he is today, or just like some like unheard stories,
why
whatever.
I got incarcerated or something.
Yeah, that type of stuff, whatever. But like when it comes to like actual stories, like actual nonfiction or fiction stuff, you good, Lake?
Who's kind of zoning off, so I'm trying to get Lake back into it.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Lake. We don't let you talk nearly as much, but I was surprised to be like, wow, he put out like a a fiction book. I was like, a narrative.
And when it's done, I'll let you read it if you want to. I'm over halfway, so it's been interesting. I think it's pretty easy to like guess what's going to happen, but yeah, it's been a really good topic because like just so many people like actually like enjoy hearing how they're similar to people when it comes to like what makes them feel better. Like I know some people like taking I like editing videos. That's like a good thing for me. It's like I'll sit there and my mood editing videos like for example, I finished 2 videos this week. I'm almost done with this 3rd video, then I have another video, and like being able to like plow through them and get them done. It's so good because it takes away from me having extra stuff to do. I can do way more other things. I can hang out with Sarah. I can do more personal stuff. But I mean, like that's like that's a good thing for me. It's like doing video work and doing anything that's not my day-to-day job. Because the thing is, like, going to work, I know what's going to happen. Going to video shoots and editing stuff, I have no clue. Like, I can shoot a video and it feels so good. Damn, I shot so much film. Yeah. And well, don't take that out of context, Zach. And, but, like, I did all this and I get in my computer and I'm like, this does not look good.
Yeah.
This is not good.
But then you make it work somehow and then you feel like even better and you're just like, well, I made it. So.
And that's the cool thing. I think, with the social media, because social media always gets like a really bad rep, but I think like depending on how you interact on social media will affect your mood too.
Yeah.
So like for example, you relate with this because you don't really do social media too much, like with like Instagram and Twitter and stuff.
Oh yeah, I had to download Twitter recently.
You're beginning. You're more of a Reddit person. Yeah. But like, for example, me and you are Twitter people, and we're not scared to really put like our thoughts and opinions on the internet. We probably shouldn't as much, but like we we'll say what's on our minds or how we're feeling and stuff to like certain things. And I do it on Instagram every once in a while.
Yeah, like, plenty of people do, man.
But like that's like not that it's a mood changer, but like being.
Not that it's a positive mood changer, I'd say that.
Yeah, that's what I say. That I think that we can go into the bad parts of what puts you kind of like a bad mood is I think social media can easily put you in a bad mood.
Yeah.
Good mood is really there's no good mood on social media unless you're getting like messages from people with good news. I mean, that's really it.
Yeah, because you're always like looking at what other people are doing, and nobody really posts like, "Oh, I had a bad time. These are all the pictures from this bad trip."
Yeah,
like they try and make it look as glamorous as they can, so that they look like they're living a really good life.
Yeah,
it's all
when
for
you're
the
scrolling
clout.
through that and you're seeing that, and you're like, "Damn, my life looks like crap," and like that's a really positive impact on how you can take it if you're trying to improve like what you're doing, but mostly it's negative. So just
that's kind of why I'm excited to go to my my new job whenever I go to my new job, because whenever I go to my new job, it'll be at a shift where nobody is on social media for the most part, so I won't have to be like on my phone constantly with that, seeing all the bull crap. But it's really like, it can be overbearing sometimes, where like how much is just bad on there, and how much it looks like how, like you said, how everybody seems like they're having like, you good?
Yeah. I just noticed that we're all wearing gray shirts, and it kind of threw me off.
When am I not wearing a gray shirt?
Yeah.
If you're not, it's purple.
There was one time we almost all wore yellow shirts, and I had a yellow shirt that was clean, and I was like, well, come on, guys.
Come on, guys. Say something. God dang.
But social media, a lot of the times, it can be like a really overbearing, it really can be hounding about how, like, for the most part, I feel like you get on, and just, once you get on, once you get off, whatever, I feel like there's going to be like you might laugh at a few things, you might see what people are other doing, whatever, but it's like there's not going to be really any, you're indulging in what other people are doing and what other people are saying.
And the crazy thing, I think now with social media, same with thing like with fast food, is now, as in fast food, they show you like they'll show you the calories, what you're intaking, and you're like, I guess I'll do it anyway. But it's the same thing on social media. Now they even have built into your phones where it literally tells you how many hours you spent on apps and watch time. I'm going to kill this cat. Give me a second.
Yeah, Mochi is screaming at the door, and he's about to chuck him out the window.
Let me in.
What?
Immediately going to get up on that table.
No, he's going to go in the window. Anyway, they're now on social media, they're giving you the option to like actually see how much you're doing on the phone, and this is in relations to get you probably off your phone, which is not a good business model for corporations, but it's good for probably people's sanity and like functionality during the day to day. Because I mean, I still personally love the days where we didn't really have much. Like my phone was literally for texting. So like even when I graduated high school, I sound old as shit, but like when I graduated high school, didn't have an iPhone yet. I had a Samsung Magnet, which was it looked like a BlackBerry, and it had a full keyboard on it that was real buttons.
I had one of those too. Yeah. I remember the first time I got a phone without like a keyboard button, and I was like, what is this? I didn't like it at all at first. Yeah. But
I remember the first selfie. I had a LG Shine, and the camera in the middle of it would spin all the way around, and then you could spin it all the way to the front, so you can take 100 by 100 size photo. Oh, so bad. Like people will never. That's the crazy thing, is these kids will never know. Even the $100 like the $100 phones you can get now, like any Android, like they take better photos. They're still crappy. Like I still am surprised that some people can function with those like $100 Android phones. Mochi,
I'll let him out.
All right.
Anyway, cat man.
Yeah, I guess leave the door open a little bit. I hate him. I actually don't hate him. I love Mochi. He just annoys the shit out of me.
Yeah. Speaking of like the negative side of things, mood wise. Do you guys ever get into like those times where you're feeling bad, but then you just fuel it with like a certain type of music, like a certain genre that's kind of depressing? Because I'll get into those trains where, I feel bad, but then I don't want to pull out of it for some reason because I'm using it as like a creative outlet for like maybe writing a story or drawing. So it's like I need that depressive type vibe in order to convey a certain image. So
Blake's top 10 depressing songs to play while creating.
So
number 1,
Sad Boys 2001.
Number 10.
Number 7.
I know exactly who you're talking about too.
God, I made Zach watch like 7 of those videos the other day.
Come on, Lake. Bad. Tell us your top 10 sad songs to listen
Only
to.
if you stop with that voice, because that's...
Like, give me your top 10 songs that are sad.
There we go.
Give me your top 10 songs to listen
Moonlight
to.
Sonata.
Dun, 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 dun.
Put me on the spot.
That's the only sad song I need.
Give me a minute and I'll like write a list. I'll think about it while we're talking about other stuff.
Are you going to write it with the saddest, the world's smallest violin?
I'm want to go ahead and say that if like social media is kind of overpowering, overbearing, and it makes you feel like less good, it's not being good for your mental health and all that, I would encourage you to delete those apps for any extended period of time, whatever, and see if it improves your mood, because I'm guarantee you social media is not going anywhere.
Yeah.
It'll be there when you get back. So
try to delete it for just a day.
Yeah.
Like even one day. Just go one day without social media.
And then try to catch yourself so many times you want to say, well, I guess I'll be on Twitter, I guess I'll be on Instagram, and then be like, oh, that app isn't there anymore. And it reminds you, and you're like, yeah, I probably don't need to be on that as much as I should. Because I've done that a handful of times where I've deleted my apps and then could go back and after like a few days, and I'm like, I feel like I've really cleared my head with a lot of things. I don't feel like so much useless information has gone into my head with the amount of stuff I see on like Twitter and like Instagram, and I don't even get on Facebook anymore because the amount of crap on like Facebook is like, it's like 10 times worse than Twitter sometimes.
Yeah. I still don't understand how people function on Facebook. It still blows my mind. Like I don't get it.
I have 2 reasons for Facebook.
Stickers
anime and stickers. I don't keep in contact with hardly anybody.
You use it for the marketplace.
I use it as a media.
I used to do that too. I used to, from a hobby. When I used to sell like shirts and stuff, I used to use Facebook only to sell some of my old band shirts, and that was it. And then like once I stopped doing that, I was like, well, no more Facebook account. But I still have Messenger.
Yeah. So. Which is crazy that they still allow you to have Messenger, but you can't have Facebook.
It's weird. But yeah, if you're feeling like you want to take a break from social media, just do it. Don't even like hesitate. That was me knocking.
Okay.
Sorry. Just don't hesitate. Just do it and see what it can do for you, because I guarantee you, like, you're on those things. Everybody's on those things more than they should be. And I can say like Reddit is a little bit different from those social media things, because like you don't know everybody that's on Reddit, and it's a more of a community based social media. So it's a little bit different, but even then, like, don't be on that as much.
And the cool thing about Reddit is you're not forced to feel like you're out of date. Like, you don't have to keep checking it every day to be like, oh, what did I miss?
Yeah, exactly.
It's all there. You just scroll.
And you can control a lot of what you got on your Reddit feed as well.
Yeah.
Mochi.
Cat is weird as hell.
He just likes to be held. And
he
wants to claw me into my head, and there he goes.
Jumping on the computer. Don't stop it, Mochi.
Mochi, get away.
Get the fuck away.
But it's my podcast. I can be a cat if I want.
We still recording?
I can be a cat if I want.
Yes.
Okay.
Hope we're recording.
We just look and all that is just gone.
I wouldn't be surprised. It's happened before, hadn't it? No.
No. We've actually we have technical difficulties all the time. Technical death metal.
I think
technical death metal. But yeah.
I think we've had like maybe footage go wrong. That's about it.
Yeah. Oh well. And as long as the episode with Harry, where like Zach had to spend like 12 hours doing it.
I think I spent more.
Bless his soul.
We appreciate what you do.
Yeah. But anyway, anything else on the topic of mood?
How are we feeling right now?
Dude, so you know how I'm just never stressed?
Yeah.
I feel pretty good.
What about you?
Going to a new job pretty soon, so I'm kind of like, that's on my mind really heavily, but I'm not trying to stress it too bad, because I have a backup plan. If whatever reasons my new job might not work out, I can go to my old job, so it's like, I don't feel as stressed as I probably should be, so I'm kind of like just taking things one step at a time.
You're also having to like relearn new routines and everything. So
yeah, it'll be different, but I think the big thing is my like sleep schedule. It's gonna be the biggest thing to get into, but
yeah,
I'm feeling good, man.
During the day,
I'm feeling good because I'm feeling like right now I don't feel like too low. Like I look forward to doing this podcast too. I can say that's one thing I always look forward to doing, and that's always like a big mood changer, hanging out with you guys and stuff. So for sure, I feel good.
Yeah.
What about you? Like, you feel good?
Man, I want a nap.
I want a nap.
You napped before you came over here.
Yeah,
I did.
Yeah, Lake was late to the podcast because he fell asleep. So, but anyway, I want to get into my podcast. I want to get into my podcast.
That was the pre-show, not a Tim's podcast.
I want to get into my topic, but before we get into my topic, I want to talk about our sponsor this week. Ooh. Damn, when you hear that transition, okay, guys,
who we got this week?
You know who it is. It's always there, and I need you guys' help in this one. Okay,
we're in our room. What's up?
Dude, come on, dude. This room's like 15 feet long.
Anchor?
Anyway, yes. So this episode of Mochi Podcast is sponsored by Anchor. Anchor is the one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing your podcast. Best of all, it's 100% free. Free. Ridiculously easy to use also. And now Anchor can match you with great sponsors who want to advertise on your podcast, just like ours. That means you can get paid to podcast right away. In fact, that's what I'm doing right now by reading this ad. Ain't that awesome, guys? That you can literally just do a podcast with your friends. You can talk about anime, what mood you're in, and you can get paid.
It's like my 5 favorite things. I mean, yeah, it's like my favorite
Top
things.
10 favorite things.
Top 10 favorite ads.
Anyway. So if you've always wanted to start a podcast, make money doing it, go to anchor.fm/start. Let's try that again. Anchor.fm/start. That is anchor.fm/start. You can join me in the You can join me in the diverse community of podcasters already using Anchor. That's anchor.fm/start if I didn't say it anymore. I can't wait to hear your podcast, and I hope you enjoy ours. Thank you, Anchor.
Thanks, Anchor.
Got to use your
words. That wasn't that
bad. FM/doom.
That wasn't that bad except for all the mess ups.
It's hard doing like a read on this. I did one, and then I was like, I don't ever want to do this
Anchor.
Again.
Anyway, okay, so
Anchor.d's nuts. that got late, I guess.
What if that has to be a podcast? That's a band, sadly. But anyway, so y'all heard today that the PlayStation 5 got announced.
I saw your tweet about it.
Yes.
But I have not seen anything about it.
So, I have some specs and I have some stuff to talk about. So, everyone in this room is a PlayStation fanboy.
Yes.
We've all loved PlayStation for years, from the 1 to the 2, kind of the 3, but definitely the 4.
I was born the same year.
You're born the same year as the PlayStation?
1995.
Dang.
PlayStation 1.
Youngin'.
Year of the PlayStation.
So before I start reading into it a little bit, what do you think, personally, is going to be included with the PlayStation 5? What do you think is going to be like the big thing of the PlayStation 5?
Virtual reality.
Okay. Good choice.
A sword and beef jerky.
Yes.
And
yes.
And
yes. Say it. Tell them.
A llama.
Amen. That's it exactly.
And a big old Toyota truck to come with it, and it's real.
Hell yeah, brother.
I literally could not tell you the first thing that wasn't probably already included in the PS4, because in my opinion, I was thinking about this day when I saw your tweet. I was like, the best modern game console is easily the PS4.
Yeah. So we'll get into it. So as a person that loves PlayStation, fanboy, that is probably my favorite console next to the GameCube, because it just has such a good category of games. Yeah. And I have over 50. I have 55 PlayStation 4 games, just like physical copies. And you know what my favorite part about that is? PlayStation 5 is backwards compatible.
Ooh.
Oh, so you get to keep that library.
Yes. Take that, Xbox.
Xbox.
Because they're backwards compatible for 360 games, but not the physical games.
Yeah.
So that was one of my big things.
And you still have to pay for like Game Pass.
Yeah.
So
it's kind of redundant, but so now the new big thing, in which me and Lake at Best Buy, we sell computers, and what does every premium computer have in it now, hard drive wise?
Solid state.
So solid state hard drives are now going to be in these. Now, just they give you an example of them playing Spider-Man on both of these consoles. Now, granted, I'm just going to go ahead and just tell you now, they haven't announced a date of when it's going to be released. I'm going to say probably 2021.
Really?
I think it's going to take them 2-3 more years, because I think there's going to be a big technology jump probably next year, and it's going to make probably stuff way easier, cheaper, because I really don't want to buy a $600 PlayStation console like the 3 was when it first came out. Most people forgot that it was $600 for the PlayStation 3. The one that was the one that had the like lip on it or something. I can't remember.
God, it was so fat.
Yeah, so So here's what they were talking. They said they fired up the PS4 Pro playing Spider-Man, and Spider-Man is a really beautiful game, and they're having him fast travel through like they're having him fast travel and doing different spots in Manhattan, and to go between each of these spots, it was 15 seconds on the standard PlayStation Pro, the one that is 4K.
Mm-hmm.
On the new PlayStation, I want y'all to listen well, on the new PlayStation, the exact same thing took 0.08 seconds.
Wow.
So it's like loading the content so much quicker. Solid state is where it's at.
Like so much quicker doesn't even begin. That's insane.
A blink. It's a less than a blink.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, oh man, I'm swinging. Oh, I fell.
Now let's get to
swinging.
The real beefy part of this. When are we going to be getting some Skyrim on there?
By the time we get another Elder Scrolls,
it's gonna happen,
dude. Skyrim. That's like actually a good thing. Okay, so they make Skyrim all the time.
Yeah.
Skyrim has what, 7 remakes? 7 remakes. It's been out for like almost a decade now.
Mm-hmm.
But like, they keep putting it out, and it runs better and better per console.
Yeah.
And they're gonna definitely release it for here. If not, it's backwards compatible. You can play it anyway.
It's blackout.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing?
PlayStation 5. I love that. I'll be dead.
Yeah, anyway. Just imagine like the loading times for the fast travel, and there's like you wouldn't even need a those like
that's worth buying the console. I want to get through them fast travel times.
Yeah, like them loading screen hints. You wouldn't even be able to finish the sentence before it's done loading. Yeah, I have that problem on the PC.
So it's just so wild to think. Like, I can't imagine like for example, there's a new Duke Nukem game coming out. This is so weird that I had to bring this out.
Wow.
But you remember the last one, the Duke Nukem Forever?
Oh, that was trash.
Yeah.
It was really bad. Garbage. Zach, I'm pausing real quick to do the camera so we don't have an issue. I'm going to come back because this is a really good story.
I can't believe what they did to Duke Nukem. That was a travesty.
Never played those games.
Like the idea of what they were trying to do. But because it was going through development hell for several years.
Okay. So, back to Duke Nukem.
Yes.
Duke Nukem was one of those games where, and Philip was there, Philip actually physically watched me fall asleep because the loading screens, if you died in that game, you had to wait 35 seconds. I even clocked it. 35 seconds for it to load the same spot that you died.
Which is like an eternity in game loading.
Yeah.
For a respawn.
Yeah. And so so imagine that now, for example, like, God, I hate these animals sometimes. Go, Mochi.
And close the door for good. Yes.
Okay.
You keep talking like that, you're gonna get paid as radar.
Peta?
Peta?
With like
anyways,
salad
Duke Nukem.
Anyway, Duke Nukem is a shitty game. Don't play it. But the new one's coming out, which is probably still going to be bad, but at least it will boot quick, most likely.
Yeah.
So they also talk about the processor. So PlayStation does an AMD processor in it, which is like their new one is still on the Ryzen series, so it's going to be pretty fast and efficient. They said the GPU is just even better than ever, and it actually functions more with 3D environments. So like ray tracking, lighting, all that stuff is going to be way better. So that probably means we're going to get probably better HDR.
Yeah.
We're going to have better colors, which means like we get to sell beautiful OLED TVs to people.
Speaking of like ray tracing and the whole rendering thing,
yeah,
I'm actually going to school for that specific type of thing. Because they're starting to roll out information regarding like new generation technology with the NVIDIA, the 2070s and 80s. They do like real time ray tracing. We're actually having to learn how to do like real physical based rendering for games. So with PlayStation 5 getting on that whole ray tracing thing, real time ray tracing, that's going to be amazing. It's going to be game changing. Yeah, you look at metal, it's going to look like metal.
They even said that like what they're putting in this computer, I mean, it's technically a computer. What they're putting into this like console is like equivalent to what people do for like visual effects in movies. Yeah. They now on VR, they actually didn't give anything out about VR. They said that it's important, but like they didn't really get any specs on that because it's all about the console, the hardware. It's not really VR is obviously going to be separate, and it's going to be separate games, and you can't develop really these VR games. PlayStation could develop them, but third-party people can't develop something that's not there yet.
Yeah. It's also too early to.
We need nerve gear.
It's too early to tell for VR. For like if it's coming out in like 3 years, 3 years, it's too early to tell about what that's going to be like with all these new specs coming out with the PS5, and it's just like. I mean, seeing this stuff for the PS4 Pro compared to like I mean, like not too much, but it's like it's PS4 Pro is like super powerful, and I thought about getting one, but I have I think you have a PS4. I have a PS4 Slim, and then doesn't Phil have a PS4 Pro?
Yes, he has both. Yeah, he bought one, and he wanted, I think, faster, so he bought him another one.
And the thing is about the PS4, is it's already really fast.
Yeah.
It's like when I switched from my Xbox One to my PS4, the first thing I noticed was like, dang, this thing's pretty fast. It's like super responsive. It's like super like, I mean, interface wise, of course, it's like very nice to look at.
One thing I have to complain about is the store. I don't think the store is as snappy as the home menu.
What, like has Xbox or something?
No. PlayStation. Like you go to the PlayStation store, it seems to like it's not as responsive and there's lag.
I don't ever go to the store, so that's not a big thing.
I hardly ever go to the store, but I
buy physical games.
Yeah, I understand that though. I mean, there's only a handful of games I've downloaded, but for the most part, I don't usually go to the store to buy anything. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of like that's probably gotten with the PS4 Pro. It's probably not even a problem.
Did you have a 360?
I did.
Did you have an Xbox One?
No.
Okay, so I'm going to just look at Hayden for this one. Sorry, like, stay in a little small host corner. But, like, so for example, Xbox 360, incredible console. Hands down, one of the best ever. Store-wise, incredible. Function of the main menu, incredible.
That's what I was going to say. They did, the jump from original Xbox to 360 was, like, incredible.
Yeah,
they changed to how like the game console could be looked at whatever, and the interface for it was great. It had great like exclusives.
It was easy to navigate and do stuff,
and it was such a good time.
And then the One comes off,
and we've talked about this before.
One is just the worst thing to navigate through. Like it's awful. And then let's second back. Let's go like or whatever. Let's go back. You have the 360, and then you had a PlayStation 3. PlayStation 3 had a terrible navigation system.
I'd never used a PlayStation 3.
Yeah. I was all right with that because coming from like a PSP to the PlayStation 3, I was already familiar with the way the menu worked. It was really good.
But it's weird because it's like it's one one line, and then each line you go through, then you can go down another line. And it was just kind of like, there's a lot there.
Well, that was in theory the way the 360 was, because you have your folders that you would scroll through.
But it was a little, it functioned way better, if that makes sense. And it was easier to figure out where stuff was, because it was labeled. It wasn't, hey, let me go up or down to find this. But like, then now you have the PlayStation 4 has a great interface on top and bottom. It's easy to find stuff. So that's going to be a big thing. Like I wonder what the interface for the 5's going to be. Like, are they going to keep it simple? I wonder what it looks like. That's going to be I wonder what it's going to look like.
If anything, a lot of people talk about how good the interface for the 4 is. It's simple, and like even the themes for the PS4 look awesome on there. Every theme I've seen for it just looks great. I think they're going to keep it simple and everything easy to find for sure. But also, if you want, I feel like there's going to be a little bit more like customability, whatever, be able to customize what you want better on there in different ways. So it'd be like way more of that. But still, like if you wanted to keep it like minimalist, you could, or if you wanted to like customize it with like a lot of different things with your theme. And I see that's like kind of what Xbox One was going for when it came out.
It just didn't work out.
And like I said, when they did Xbox One's interface, they really wanted to also model it after Microsoft's ongoing websites at the time. They wanted it all kind of to be like
Windows 10.
They really wanted it to be like really into kind of integrate into one kind of system, or kind of like be all alike. But for a game console, that just looks bad.
Yeah, and it didn't navigate well at all.
And the Xbox One is slow.
Yeah,
it's slow.
So, and the last part of the this is the last thing from the PlayStation thing that they gave us, and this is huge. Like this to me, I think is the SSD was definitely going to be fast, but this is my biggest thing personally. They said that the PlayStation 5 is able to support 8K stuff.
That's what I thought you were about to say.
God, 8K.
I almost was about to bring up, like, I was like, so the quality of what to be able to support as far as like display wise, I was like, it's probably gonna be pretty damn good.
Yeah,
they're gonna support like resolutions we don't have in TVs quite yet.
Well, but at the same time, that's good because, like, for example, you have you have a TV that's 4K, and as a person that does like video work, I shoot music videos in 4K and I compress them to 1080 to make them so much more crisp and colorful, and they just so look so much better. So these people, like, it's same thing with like actual movies. Every movie you watch, they usually shot in 8K and then they compress them down because sometimes when you're shooting in 8K. There's a part of the video that you really, really want, but you have all the extra stuff. But if you want it in a 4K, you can just zoom.
I never thought about that.
Yeah, and that's what I think is going to be a big thing for gaming because cutscenes are probably going to be incredible then.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they don't even have to worry, like, some of the rendering, especially now with SSD, they won't have to render as much, or they can actually just zoom in. They can do, like, one big scene, and from that big scene, they can just zoom into one part that they really want.
And PlayStation taking, like, that step for 8K before there's, like, real big TVs out there. They're already ahead of the curve. Even with, like, 8K Blu-ray players, they're not there yet.
Yeah.
So PlayStation's going to pull the same thing they did with the PlayStation 2, where it was the most viable option if you wanted to run like DVDs, movies, all that stuff. Like, that was the top selling console.
They're also betting on not everything being in 8K, so they can already have it in 8K to be able to scale it down, like what you were talking about, to make everything look good. So that's I totally understand what you're saying. So it's going to be like, it's going to make everything look gorgeous. So I'm excited. I'll definitely buy one. Because I didn't I think for the longest time before I even got new consoles, I was just grinding on my Xbox 360 with old games I had, and I wasn't even into gaming that hard. I'm still not really super into gaming, but I was just like, you know what, I want to get some new consoles. Well, I was also making better money.
Well, to transition to the last topic of the podcast, I'm curious how much it would cost to buy 4K anime movies and shows.
Too expensive for me.
It's $60 for 12 episodes, I guess.
That's what I want to know. I want 4K.
I drew this in 8K.
Shit. I can't even draw in 8K because my computer just.
Can you draw in 8K?
You can set the resolution up to 8K.
Is that what
the
Toy Stories is?
It requires a lot of memory.
Waifus in 8K.
So you can have the same. I've tried it at one point.
That would be a good title for that, but no one would know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Waifus in 8K. God. But anyway, so this is your part of the podcast. This is your topic. Tell the people, the beautiful people, what your topic is.
So my topic in general was anime movies coming to theaters, and maybe the appeal of people that have no idea what that is, what they see. They're walking and they see this anime poster for a movie that's coming out on a day,
and they say, "What is this? Nerd! All right, let's go see Detective Pikachu."
Yeah, I can see something like that. They're
I can't wait to see
what
that
is this?
Though. Yeah,
and then just seeing the crowd of people coming in for those movies, kind of like when we went to see that My Hero, those people wearing these
without
shirts
Zach.
And without Zach.
So this is the perfect podcast to bring that up, anyways.
But yeah, it's I was always been curious of what it looks like to other people.
Well,
when we bull up and storm
I would say probably the same thing for big movie releases. All the Harry Potter where people just you're like, damn, I'm just trying to get it to the Greek, and everyone's
people know about Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Though.
And it's like that kind of goes off of like nerd culture to where like it's so different, like it's so broad and so different for like each fandom, because each fandom, like, because not everybody likes, which is crazy, not everybody likes Star Wars. So there's people who don't like Star Wars at all, and see people like lined up down the block to see the new Star Wars movie. They just don't really like. They're like, wow, a bunch of nerds. So it's kind of the same thing. Whatever, like if it doesn't really appeal to you, you don't get it. So it's kind of like from the outside looking in, you're like, well, that's it can seem weird. I mean, that's like it's like seeing the Harry Potter movies, I don't get Star Trek. I'll be completely honest. I do not get the appeal of Star Trek. So when people see,
I don't like Star Trek.
People wilding out, people dressing up for Star Trek, I'm like, man, that's kind of weird. No, I'm gonna go see this anime movie.
I would say the same thing with Doctor Who. I
don't like Doctor Who either. But I know Steven loves.
Don't hate us.
No, Steven loves Doctor Who, and I just don't get the appeal of it. But like people love Doctor Who. It's huge. Yeah. I just don't get the appeal of it. But
you've got like very big fandoms. You got Supernatural, Harry Potter, Doctor Who,
Game of Thrones,
Game of Thrones now, and then
Lord of the Rings.
There's a couple more. Star Wars. Yeah. Can't forget Star Wars.
Doesn't matter. That's enough.
Twilight.
Anime gets its entire own category.
Yeah. It's I would say it's kind of like at work where we have the new releases, and you go look at the new releases and you're like, oh, there's Ant-Man and the Wasp, there's Spider-Man multiverse, and then there's Mariah. What is that? And then you're like, oh, Angus Corpse Bride, whatever that movie's called or show's called.
Angus Corpse Bride.
I forgot what it's called. What is it called?
Ancient Magus Bride or
that's
Magus.
Wow, I messed that up.
Angus Corpse Bride. What? You could not have. That wasn't even a Timism. That was like a Timism like times 100. That wasn't even like an accidental. I was like completely on purpose. Let me butcher this name.
I couldn't think of what it was. Anyway, I love an anime too.
You were close enough that we got what you were trying to say. All you got to say is Angus, and I kind of got the gist.
But anyway, but I feel like it's kind of like that. Like you see all these movies that and then you see this random cute little girl floating in the air in the blue sky. I mean, just like that's a lot of anime covers. If you did for movies, I don't know why.
Girl Who Leapt 2 Times.
Yeah. Or I think even Kiki's flying through the air.
Service,
yeah. I mean, that's just like, I guess, a good trait because they like to be like show off the colors and stuff like that. But anyway, I feel like it's like that. I don't really ever go to movie theaters and like see like a poster because I'm usually there already to see something. But I think if you see someone dressing up, for sure, you're like, go home, watch it in your room.
Yeah, it's But what movies were they thinking about coming out? Talking about coming out?
So, well, there was one.
Oh, okay.
It was a Saga of Tanya the Evil.
Yeah. So what's that?
It's like
about?
an alternate reality where this gentleman was a salaryman.
Yes.
He dies, and then he gets reincarnated as a little girl.
Yes.
But he still has the mentality of a grown man, so he takes that as an advantage.
I read it, and I was like, oh, he wants to talk about this?
So he's told me about
that as an advantage, and as this little girl, but with a grown man's mind, he's like advancing through military ranks like it's nobody's business. And it's like, it's the Empire, which is also known as like the German Reich during that time. So it's like during the World War II era, or World War I more likely. So it's not even Nazis anymore. But they took that side. So it's like the huge conflict of World War I, and then this main character just flying through the ranks. Just it's a pretty good story. I forgot my train of thought just then.
But so is it just a movie or is it?
So there's a series going, and then they had a bunch of trailers for the new season 2. But now they're doing like a movie where it's like I guess they scrapped the season 2 idea and then went with the movie.
So aside from the movie, because I mean that's really it. I mean you're done with that.
Yeah.
What is a show like? Because I'm curious. Because a movie's gonna probably. Hopefully it's not a sum up of like all the show to one movie. It's probably what it's going to be. But
so to sum it up, it's about this little girl that got into the military, and because she has the salaryman type, you either do the good, do a job, you do it right, or you're out. An
adult's mentality.
So the whole time she rises up. She becomes a drill instructor. She almost kills one of her own recruits and stuff. But it's about how like this hardened little girl is just like dominating World War One, and so you get to see through his aspect about World War One with magic.
So what would you?
That's another aspect.
He didn't throw. He didn't throw the sorcerer where he like becomes like one of the biggest like sorcerers or something.
Yeah. So
I forgot that was a weird twist. I forgot that was in.
Yeah, there's magic in this alternate reality where there's flying mages. So
what was he in a regular? Well, so he died in like a regular
modern world.
And then he's reincarnated into like a
which is what isekai is. You know what isekai is. You've watched you've never seen Konosuba. What's an isekai shit?
Konosuba, Sword Art. No,
Sword Art is not. Really. It's where you're
how not
melancholy. Would that be technically it?
No.
Where they go into like a different space?
No, isekai is basically is like
be reincarnated.
Just about if you die, or it's like it's I'd have to actually look up the complete definition to give you a better idea. But it's like it's alternate. It means alternate reality. Like takes place like you may have either died or you were either died or you were. Transported somehow into an alternate reality, and that's how you deal with like the circumstances.
It's a different,
and that's how
it's
like
a different
Overlord,
lighthouse.
ReZero. There's a lot of shows that I've watched.
Yeah,
In Another World with your smartphone.
Yeah,
it's pretty dumb, but
yeah, that show seems really stupid.
It is.
But anyway,
I finished it.
I'm glad you had the time to do that.
My taste.
You take the bullet for everyone else.
Yeah.
But anyway, but it's a good show and it intrigues you enough to want to go see the movie.
Yeah. Oh, most definitely.
So isekai is a subgenre of Japanese fantasy light novels, manga, anime, and video games revolving around a normal person from Earth being transported to, reborn, or trapped in a parallel universe. Often this universe already exists in the protagonist's world as a fictional universe, but it may be unknown to them. I.e., if they like play a video game they really love.
Like How to Summon a Demon Lord.
Yeah,
perfect. That's a perfect example.
Konosuba is another really good one. It's really funny. The Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime is really popular. There's tons of them out there.
Overlord.
Heart he wouldn't have applied, but I understand how you could think that. Yeah,
I mean, because they just go to different dimensions every once in a while.
Sometimes, and time travel and whatnot. But that's basically what isekai is.
My whole favorite thing about Tanya the Evil is like. Just the grittiness of it, because it's actually got like gore and stuff in there. Not hardcore where it's
which is going to be good because you're going to talk about Demon
But it's
Slayer.
more like a realistic setting. It's not. It takes itself serious in a lot of situations. But I really enjoy the whole aspect of the historical accuracy to a point, because you're seeing everything from like the German side of things, where the entire world is closing in on the German Empire. Are you good?
Yeah, I was making sure.
And I've listened to when I talk about Dan Carlin's hardcore history. He talks a lot about how like when Germany was really first coming up as their own country in Europe at the time, whatever. A lot of the surrounding countries were like already looking at Germany as like a very threatening powerhouse, because they had like all these kind of like really strong cultures coming into their own as a country forming. So early on, right at the very beginning, when like Germany was being a thing, people were already like kind of nervous about like what this particular culture of new people in this new area would do. So like Germany from the very beginning has been like kind of a
and like
controversial thing.
Their generals for the military are strategic geniuses.
Yeah,
and like just watching their side of things. Because we're always used to seeing like the U.S. or the Allies side of things on the war. It was so cool to see like the red side of the war. And
you know how
they did it.
How Charles always says, "Winners keep score."
Yeah,
it's the same thing applies to history. I mean, you don't want to usually put your faults in what happened that was like bad that you did. Most of the time, you win.
You're doing my pose, by the way. It's a good pose, isn't it? Yeah. What's up?
But anyway, it's because I have room. I have all this free
It's true,
room.
You do have a lot of room. I like doing this pose too. So.
But yeah, I would say that's a big thing. Like they just had like all this potential to do stuff because they we were talking about history. Yeah, we were talking about history. You're talking about potential of them doing thing, and I got.
And anime.
And then anime, I guess, whatever.
And then what was like the
Hitler-san,
the TV show you wanted to talk about?
Yeah.
Demon Slayer. So Demon Slayer,
which we were going to watch.
Demon Slayer before.
We were going to watch both the episodes, which we could have before you got here, but we decided not to.
Demon Slayer, the art style is amazing. I really love the art style. It's very visually appealing. It starts off really strong. So, like the first episode, it gets you with an emotional gut punch. But then the second episode is completely different. So I'm enjoying like the character development so far. They give you kind of a background a little bit. But mostly the art style is what's attracting me so far. Because I know nothing of the story.
So question for you. Is there any cute girls in it?
Yes.
Okay.
There's one.
0 out of 10.
Nezuko.
Because we're going to bring that up to you too.
Oh yeah, most definitely. So I would actually... Because you guys are familiar with the Shield Hero?
Yeah.
Rising of the Shield Hero?
I've never seen it.
Yeah.
So, you know Raftalia?
They talk a lot of crap about them on our anime podcast.
Yeah, so you know how she took over Reddit because of how like adorable she was apparently. But I think Nezuko is going to rise to the top on Reddit. Easy.
I just want to go ahead and say
top 10.
Anime.
None of them will be any better than the K-On! Girls.
No, the K-On! Girls, they've got a specific art style that just makes them...
But anyway, I actually watched people talk about Demon Slayer to the point of now, and it actually did, like... I kind of spoiled, like, a little bit, but it's fine. But, like, it showed me, like, 2 guys talking about it, and then, like, them kind of, like, joking with it, like, oh, dude, this show's, like, really, like, looks so good, and, oh, this character, he's so good, and then there's a dead body. It's just, like, it's just, like, okay. And so I stopped after that, like, after I saw, like, a dead body, and I was like, maybe it's interesting, because, like, even the internet's even saying it's pretty decent, but, like, me and Hayden were talking when you weren't here, behind your back, about...
I like how you say
about your pilgrim shoes.
About your pilgrim shoes. Every episode from now on is called Lake Shoes until he buys new ones. And then
I'll buy your Vans, damn it.
You don't have to buy my Vans.
Send me a link on Facebook. Anyway.
I'll buy them Vans, I tell you what.
Ain't killing Vans. Anyways.
I can't see that.
Zach's like, I'll buy a van. Anyway.
What were we talking about?
We're talking about before he came over here, where like you're saying it's incredible and it's like super good. And me and him were like, there's 2 episodes. I mean, how many animes have you seen drop the ball on the 3rd episode?
There has been a few.
A lot. Yeah. There's not a few. There's a millions.
But from like the comment section alone, like they're talking about the manga side, which I haven't read, but they're like, it has huge potential to be like a really good series.
Yeah.
So I'm hyped. I'm really excited about it.
I'm still waiting for you to watch Mob Psycho.
I tried watching it.
You tried watching
it. I couldn't get into it.
I couldn't get past the 3rd episode.
There wasn't any girls in it, so you know.
Yeah, there really isn't. There's one girl.
There's like
in the second season.
There's like 3 girls, but he likes the girl Mob likes, and then the girls that are in his club. So that's really it. But it's not about Mob Psycho ain't about girls. It's about Mob being wholesome.
Yeah.
Mob and Reagan being an absolute unit.
Yeah. The most powerful psychic to ever exist.
I love Reagan. So that funny. Where are we going? I was gonna bring up something.
I don't know.
I mean, that's pretty much like with the episodes, like 1, 2, 3 episodes about like them being.
Oh yeah, and I was trying to think of like anime that really kind of impacted me from like 2 episodes, and I was like, it's not been a lot. It wasn't until like I really got the full picture of like the series, like from what I said. Told you Natsume. The second episode of Natsume is like super super heavy, and I was like, I remember like binging it, and I was like, dude, we're 2 episodes in, and this is already like making me want to cry, man. What's up with that? And then what was the other one? I would say like Girl in Lagann already like solidified. When by the second episode, I was like, yeah, I'm already on board for this.
I said the same thing with Fully Cooley. The second episode is the best episode.
Yeah, it's the best episode. I'm trying to think of another one.
I was luckily Greg Ayers is one of our listeners, and I was like, and this is even thing like before, like I was a Greg Ayers fan, and like I loved his voice actors. I watched I don't even know Greg even knows this. So Greg, if you're listening, I was watching Mongolian Chop Squad or Beck, whatever way you want to do it, and because my friend at work recommended it to me, and I watched the first episode, I watched the second episode, watched the third episode, I watched the fourth episode, and I was like, man, this is just like not like progressing. It's like 26 episodes, and then the fifth episode happens, and I'm like, okay, this is where we got to go now. And it's weird. Like, there are some animes that are like that. I think so. Like, Hayden says that about Gurren. I think Gurren doesn't, like, until episode like 5 or 6 is when I was like, this is actually getting good.
I think that's probably why I never.
From the top of my head, the first anime that I really like, I thought was like, okay, I know from the get go, this is going to be like incredible all the way through, and I was 100% right. From at least episode 1 or episode 2, Kill la Kill.
Oh yeah,
because I just looked up. I was like, first episode of Kill la Kill is awesome. I already know what it is, and I was like, what is the second episode of Kill la Kill? And then it's like, I looked it up, and it's like, it's after she defeats the guy in the boxing club, and then she fights Satsuki, and it's just like for the first time, and then she gets her ass whooped. But I mean, it's like, dude, right? They don't waste any time on that show.
I still haven't finished it.
I'm glad you brought it up. So anyway, Greg, also because of your character, I think it's Yuki or Yukio. Something I can't remember, or a key or something in Mongolian Chop Squad. Because of your character in that, I bought me a Fender Telecaster. Yeah. And because he just mentioned Kill la Kill, it has the white pick guard, and then it has a blue body. Mm-hmm. And so I named her Mako after Kill la Kill, because it's what their uniform color is. But Mako, that's still easily, like, I think my second favorite, like, anime girl character in any anime, just because she's just
like the biggest, like, meme of all time, really. She really, like, every face, every time she talks, whatever, it's just like,
is that the one
it's
with
iconic.
The bowl cut?
Yes.
Yeah.
She's the best. Like, I think Ryuko's still my favorite character, just because I love how spunky and how, like, angry or like kind of pissed off she is all the time, and she has no filter. She just kind of feels how she feels, and like she loves Mako to death and everything. I think Ryuko's my favorite character, but like Mako is just the best for sure. I think Kill la Kill, like from the get go, it's just like, you know what this show's about. It doesn't like waste any time getting into it. It's like, this is going to be like crazy kick-assery the entire time. And it's called Kill la Kill.
And some people don't like that at all. Like I have a lot of people try to watch Kill la Kill and they just didn't get it.
It's either too risque or too gung ho for them.
I think that's what I don't like about it.
I love that about it.
It has women in it, and it's ecchi.
I think I have an issue with echis. I can't watch them. I don't know why. I was like,
what kind of pervert are you?
Not one, apparently.
Not a good one. You're not a good anime fan.
Like High School DxD, I couldn't finish that one. I couldn't even get past the third episode.
Oh man, you probably wouldn't like Rosario Vampire either.
I actually finished that one. I had to force myself to watch that one though.
Well, it's the same show, but there's actual fights in High School DxD.
Oh, that one day. That's not good.
That one stopped.
I'm surprised not many people know about Rosaria and Vampire.
Oh, put the wrong password in. Shit.
You gonna lock yourself out, brother?
For 36 years.
Excuse me.
He's been locked out of his Mac until this time.
Good God.
It sounds like that's my anime intro.
In another world with your MacBook.
Carl Jones has been locked out of his iPad for 36 years, waiting to get the document.
Waiting to get the dank memes.
The Mega Ball token.
Oh my God. The one video that.
What are we talking about? I need to go through. I was thinking episode. We need to do. This is gonna be called episode 2 of anime. Episode 2 of Outlaw Star is really good, and I was also thinking on my background, episode 2 of Trigun is really good too.
Oh yeah.
But like the first, like that's like the big first arc of really how you get to see how Vash is as a character, because they really establish that he's like the $6 billion like whatever man, whatever, and then like you see he's just like a big goofball, but he still is like invincible.
Yeah. I think tonight, if Sarah's probably not gonna let me, so I'm just watching myself. I think I might actually watch the first episode of Trigun. I need to watch that, and I need to also watch Dragon Maid again. But
let's watch episode 2 of Kill la Kill.
Dragon Maid is just such a.
Let's just not watch episode 22 of Trigun.
Oh, okay. Is it just like I never got that far?
I think episode 22 is where he.
I think I only watched like 15 or 16 episodes of Trigun.
I think that's where he kills I think it's where he kills like the first the biggest bad guy next to his brother.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, do y'all have any other things that you would like to mention on this episode of the Mochi Mochi podcast? It's been kind of it's been kind of a little bit of a shorter episode, but we've been talking a lot about
read manga.
Yes, that's gonna be. We've talked about a little bit of thing. You got how you mentally feel. You got your anchor. You got your PlayStation news. You got your anime kick. Man, what a good podcast.
You got it all. The only thing I can say is where to find us.
Where to find us?
Yes.
Lake, do you know where to find us?
So,
well, too bad. I'm going to do it.
You son of a bitch.
You can do it, Lake.
You can find us on YouTube.
Hey, do us and kill them.
So, you can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Spotify. You can find us on iTunes. And you can even find us on our own website. Search Mochi Mochi Podcast.
No.
Mochi. I'm saying Mochi Mochi.
There's no two Mochis.
Just search Mochi Mochi on any of those, and then you'll find us. But on the website, it's mochipodcast.com.
Okay. You just format.
You didn't let me finish, but I did format it incorrectly
because
my mind isn't like everybody else's.
Hank Hill is just thinking about propane the whole time.
I wish I could just keep pulling manga just from and just stack it before it just hides Lake.
Nah, we'll just loop it.
Yeah.
He'll edit more stacks, and then he can digitally change the titles.
Before we end the podcast, I was actually watching Hank of the Hill.
King of the Hill.
Yeah, I was watching King of the Hill the other day, and it was an episode where Billy, Bobby, and Peggy are someone makes them a burger at like their friend's house, and they eat the burger, and they're like, "Oh, this is the best burger I've ever had," and it's a charcoal grill and not a propane, and they're like, "Oh God, what have we done?" Hank's got a nose like a hound dog, and so like Hank goes out of town for a convention or something, and they buy charcoal and eat burgers all week on charcoal.
I remember that episode.
And then it comes. He finds a piece of charcoal underneath the fridge, and he's like, "Peggy, what you?"
I don't know the line. I can't do it.
Peggy, what are you doing with this? And he's just like, he goes, "In this house, I can't believe you've done this to me." And so they have a grill off where they each eat a burger that's charcoal and eat one that's propane. Mm-hmm. And Peggy says the one that has propane is better. Mm-hmm. And then looks at Bobby and he's like, "Sometimes you just gotta eat the wrong burger to make your family work." Like, I'm like, God, this is such a.
Everybody talks about
dark secret.
Everybody always talks about how Peggy is like the worst character.
No, Hank is like an asshole, dude. Hank is such a terrible. The first like 2 seasons, Hank is just like the worst person. He treats Peggy so bad.
I've never actually. Well, I haven't watched King of the Hill in a long time.
Oh man,
Futurama was my show. So.
Yeah.
Oh, Futurama, I love that.
It's the best for
sure. Anyway. That was a weird tangent they get on real quick.
For real.
But anyway, yeah, so you can find us everywhere. Any streaming website, Mochi Podcast. We have mochipodcast.com. Make sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Mochi Podcast. Make sure to read manga. Make sure to go to Fathom Events if you ever want to actually watch any of these anime movies that come out in theaters.
Because actually a lot of them are into an extended amount of theaters out there. Like I'm surprised we get like the amount of movies we do out in this theater, which is awesome. Not just like the theaters out in like in the downtown area and stuff like that.
May 16th.
Yeah.
Tanya the Evil.
Or is it 17th?
And don't just go watch Dragon
16th.
Ball. But anyway, I hope we put y'all in a great mood for this episode, the 33rd episode of the Mochi Mochi Podcast. I have been your host, Tim, with my small host, Lake, and my beautiful host, Hayden.
Yo.
And we love Tim.
We love Tim. Read manga.
We love Tim.
We love Tim. Read Hunter x Hunter.